So let's once again good morning, and let's we start our workshop subject, and batch is A and class is EC1. Again I confirm EC1 class and only A batch student is join. Now my screen is visible. HTML tag, that presentation file. Okay, thank you for your response. So let's quickly go through the revisions at orientation time before the Diwali, where we start our orientations as well as the few basic HTML tag. Now again I repeat that workshop subject where we have three different module. One module from computer part, second module from electrical part, and one more module from the mechanical part. So now as of first 3 week where you learn a computer part. In a computer part where we have two practical. One practical for the basic HTML tag where we make a simple interactive website, and second practical that is regarding the overview of a different OS. So that two practical from a computer department, and that will I will teach you. Okay, the let's we quickly go through overview as I said last lecture. Now anyone remember what is the full form of HTML? Just type your answer in chat box if you remember. Yes, I got many answer. Hypertext markup language, hypertext markup language. Yes, a very good student. So now all of you are remember. Good. Yes, I heard. I get most of answer. Yes, I appreciate your answer. Good. Let's be aware about the full form of HTML. That is a hypertext markup language. And using of the HTML, you can create a simple web page. Now in a web page, you can add like text, graphics, sound, and videos. So now in HTML, you aware about that is one term that we called a tag. How we represent the tag. So generally, tag with it represent into the starting and closing bracket, and in bracket we write down the specific keyword. Like for example, if you take someone text as a bold, we use a tag that we called a B. Now most of the tag where it's have a closing tag, sorry, opening tag as well as the closing tag. So now the closing tag that we represent as a forward slash. So that we called a meaning of the closing tag. Now in HTML, it's not essential. Each and every tag have required that closing tag, because we see the few tag where it's not required a closing, that only have a opening tag. So that is the term we are aware about how we represent the tag and what is the meaning. It's also it's a supported a nested tag. Like inside the tag you can use another tag also. So that we called a nested tag. So meaning of nested tag, like inside the tag you can use another tag, as well as its affect both effect. Like you can see the example here. The I, meaning of I, italic font, and H1, so that is a heading font. So that both effect you can easily edit. Next we have a structure of a web page, so where we have a few essential and important tag that we have to necessarily write down, like HTML tag starting, that closing, as well as the body tag starting and closing. So these are the two tag. It's essential, and inside the body tag, whatever you have, right? So that represent for the each and every tag, or that represent into the your browser screen. Now we have one more tag that we called a title. So now the title tag that is used for the easily identifying the specific web page meaning. Like example, registration page, login page, home page, product page, contact us page. And also if you put that page as a favorite, history, bookmark, you can easily identify based on the title that page name also. And also it's identifying like if you host your website into the live platform, it also increase your ranking where based on search on Google engine or different engine search engine. So title tag that is identifying the page meaning. Next we already see the heading tag where we have a H1 to H7, and H1 that is the represent is a larger size, H2 small, H3 again small, and up to H7 that is a 2 smaller. So that is a heading size a different 7. Now also in heading we apply one attribute that we called a align. Maybe you can see in some news website where they have to some represent a title into the center. That means how we represent that into the center. So we have one attribute that we called a align. If you set a center, so that represent into the center. Like same way too, if you represent like right hand side, so that starting of the browser they represent into the right hand side, as well as if also represent left hand side. But left hand side it's not a requirement because the default font in a browser that all represent into the left hand side. That's why. So that is a align take. So that is a quick revision for the as the orientations that we go with. So let's just we check that output and then we move into the remaining new take. Now you can see the out. So that is a three take that we use a H1, H2, and H3. Let's we go for the that aligns. Now I will require type a center. So now you can see the out H1 that is represent into the center. There is a one language. Then there is a one questions. PHP means. Okay, PHP that is a language, and I just set the title name as a PHP. Now the HTML language it is the part of the PHP language. So HTML basic tag it's under the PHP language, and that is for the preprocessor that we hypertext preprocessor. It means So whatever HTML tag that you have to use, that is under we called a PHP language, or you can say a PHP programming. I have just set a title, a PHP. You can set any like PHP HTML tag as per the your requirement. You can set it. Now next we check for the align is equal to right hand side. Now you can see H2 line that is represent into the right hand side, and default that by default it's already left sorry represent into the left hand side. So that is not essential. Also you can write, though it's not affected in your screen output, because the default that represent through a left hand side. So that is the quick revision for the last lectures. Now next statement that we regarding the comment. Now what is the meaning of comment? For example, after 4 year, when you completed your graduate and then become maybe you work as a developer, some specific language like .NET, Java, Python, C Sharp, PHP, or any language. So where you can see the software code that is 1000, 2000, 5000 line of the code, and that is not a possible entire one developer can make that entire coding. So there is a group of the developer where they have to make that based on the scale a small functions, and that all function that put together and make a one final programmer. So that we called a comment tag. So now in a comment tag you represent that tag a specific meaning, and whatever you write inside the comment tag that not affected your output in your web page. So that is for the only reference where other person that can easily understand your coding, as well as what is the meaning of your logic and what is the meaning of that tag. If you represent, you can use a bracket, exclamation, double dash, and here a dot dot you have to write whatever tag meaning, example, or any note, and that is a double dash closing bracket. So that we called a comment tag, where you have to meaning of specific logic or any sentence you can easily represent, and inside the comment whatever you write that is not represent into the your web page. Now next we take have that is a text formatting. Maybe you can see in some website there may be few font they have to represent as a bold. So how we represent the font as a bold? So you have to use a tag that we called a B tag. So inside the B, whatever you have to write, so that is a represent as a bold. Now next we have a italic. So that is for the you can see a slightly a font can be a angle. So that we called a italic tag, I tag. Next, we have a U that we called a underline. So whatever inside the right, you can U take the font that represent into the underline. Next, we have a P take that is for the paragraph. Now, the meaning of paragraph, it means your previous sentence, it will be a completed, and now you redirect into the new statement. So that is the meaning of a paragraph take. And next we have BR take, break the line. That is the meaning of the BR take. Okay, where generally like you represent some content on a next line. And if you break the specific line, so before that you have to write down the BR take, which break the line. It's represent your output into the new line. So these are the generally five take that we call for the text formatting. So let's we check for the that output. Now you can see now. So that is a regular font. This is where you would include text, image on your web page, and remaining you can say this is my first program. So it's represent into the bold font. So that we called whatever font you represent as a bold. So you have to write down into the B tag. So that is the meaning of bold. So that highlighted that specific font as a bold. Now next that we have like you take. Now you can see one more line added, and that represent into the underline. So it means whatever inside the U tag you have write down, so that is the represent as a underline. So that is the meaning of U tag where represent into the underline. Now next we have I tag. Now you can see one more line added, and that is a slightly angle. So that we called a I. It means a italic. Okay, whatever write inside the I tag. So that is the representations of the italic font. So that is the basic three tag that we change your font, either bold, underline, or italic. As per the requirement, you can set it. Now next we have a paragraph. And now you can observe the output that represent into the new line, and as well as you can see it's put some space between the first line and second line. So now we generally see in a document where your paragraph meaning, it means your previous point is completed, then it's sorry, then it put some space, and then after it's start your new line. So that we called a tag a P, okay, that is represent as a paragraph. So that is the tag that we called a P for the paragraph. Now the you can see the output that is not like good. For example, that is a bold font that I have to represent into the new line. So that we have one tag that we called a BR. It means break the line. That we called a BR tag break the line. Now you can see the effect of BR. It means it's a break, and after the BR, whatever you have write down, so that represent into the new line. So that is the meaning of a BR take, where they have to break your line, and it's represent into the next line. Now tell me, for example, underline font that I have to represent into the new line, then tell me which tag I have to use. Again, I repeat the questions. Underline font that I have to represent into the new line, then tell me which tag I have to use. Okay, I received four answer. Dipesh, Isha, Shrey, and Dakshit all said a BR tag. Okay, next Soham also said BR. they also a good student. All a student answer it's a right. Those are the put in chat box, and that we called a BR tag. So let's we check for that out also. BR. And let's refresh this. Yes, so you can see it's represent into the new line. So that is the effect of a BR tag. Now next where we have a italic font. Now again same questions. This italic font that I have to represent into the new line. Then tell me which tag I have to use. Now I accept the answer from other student. Those are not already give the answer. Again, I repeat the questions. The italic font that I have to represent into the new line. And please give the answer other student. Those are not already give. Okay, now I get answer from new student. Okay, BR tag. Good student. Your answer it's right. Okay, there is one more question, sir. Underline and bold both are added in a one effect. Yes, it's a possible. That also we go for a demo. Don't worry. Now I've used a BR tag before the italic. So it's again represent into the next line. Now you can clearly see the difference between the BR and P because the P tag it's also start from the new line. BR tag it's also start from the new line, but you can see the difference between BR. So they have not pushed a space between the one line and a second line or second and third line. But you can see the paragraph. So here they have to put some space between the both line. So that is the difference between P tag and BR tag. Maybe mostly some students have questions. Okay, what is the difference between P tag and BR tag? Because both have do a same functionality because both have start from the new line. But difference between the BR that directly start, they have not put a space between any two line, and in a paragraph they have to put a space between the line. So that is the difference between BR and P tag. Okay, one more question, sir. Can you show the output of the comment statement? Yes, again I show the output of comment statement. Don't worry. So let's we like apply a both effect. So here like I use a U tag, and again I close that U tag, and let's we check for output. So now you can see on a second line it have underline as well as the bold. So you can use a many more effect like same way too. Again if you apply a italic font, that also you can use it. So that we called a nested tag effect. Now you can see font is bold, italic as well as the underline. So you can merge any tag as per your requirement. Sorry, you can apply any tag on based on the both effect or three effect as per your requirement. Okay, now one student have query, can you show the output of a comment? tag. So let's here I have used a comment tag live. Okay, like we put here. This is a underline tag. Now you can see I have added a comment line, and let's we check out it's not affected because whatever you write inside the comment that is not represent into the browser. That is for the like meaning of that a specific statement, because the you, so maybe some other person saw the code and that not aware about, so you can use this type of the comment also, that this is a underline tag. You can see the output, so that person easily can understand based on the your comment. So that is the use of the comment, where you can say some other person can easily understand your whatever design your code. Okay, now any query in a text formatting tag? It's also you can apply a heading effect. Now you can see the also out the first line, it's represent into the bold. Next line it's represent underline and italic also. Now can you notice any another things? Yes, good observations, right? It is necessary to put a closing tag every time. Okay, before one questions, Soham, sir, underline માં તમે take કર્યો છે એટલે underline આવી. Comment no કરવી શું help થશે? Again, I repeat the comment that is a help for only understanding the purpose. For example, if I just remove the comment, so it's not affected my out. Comment just only for the understanding purpose. Someone, if you understand your code, you can just represent the comment, that only. Now the one more questions have say it is necessary to put a closing tag on every time. So now you can see the here I have used h1 tag, but I have not put a here or anywhere else and in my coding closing of the h1 tag, and you can easily see that effect. So now if you start another heading tag, so it means it's automatically assume that your previous heading tag it would be a completed. Same way you can see underline I've start a heading 2 and then I've start heading 3. So now it's a assume here your heading 2 it will be a completed, and also you can see h3 after whatever I have write down that all represent here on h3 font, because I have start the h3 until I am not close and then write whatever informations, that all information it's represent into the h3 tag. Like here I represent ec1 cabbage, Now you can see again 1:1 EBH also present into the H3 output. And like before here, if I close H3, then that is the represent into the normal font. Now you can see effect of adding its remove. Now that and that both are the similar font size. So as I said, is few tag it's a require a closing tag, it's a necessary, and few tag with that is not required, like a BR tag. So that is not a compulsory that a closing tag. Next, we have a tag that we called a font tag. Now in a font tag, you can set your font size, your font face. Now, what is the meaning of font face? So now in a font face, you can apply a different font style. Like we take an example, Times New Roman, then Verdana, Arial, Calibri, heading, body. So whatever font style that you are aware about, that also you can add as a font face, or we can say font name. Next, one more property, or we called attribute, that is a font size. Again, you can change your font size as per your requirement. So here you can see the font size, that is a 1 to 7, and that is the in an increasing order. Size 1, so that is a too small, then a size 2, that is a increase, then size 3 again increase, and size 7, so that is a too large. And now one more, we have attribute in a font tag that we called a color. You can change your color also as per the font. Maybe you can see in some interactive website, okay, where they have to represent a font color also. So that also you can easily set it. That is a questions from Sohan. Font by the computer main built होगा जो, yes, whatever font that you have to install in your computer, and then it can be affected. One more question from Jaideep. Can we take a font size more than 7? No, Jaideep. Maybe if you add a font size 8, 10, 50, so it's by default represent the font size 7. We also see for the that demo, but variation is only size 1 to size 7. Maybe you can add size 8, 15, 100, or any number, maximum to 7, so that only affected a size 7. So now we discuss about color. The color that we have a two method representations. The one, directly you write down the color name that you want to a font, like a red, green, blue, yellow, purple, black, as per your requirement. Now one more method that we have, like has, and then after the 6 alphabet. So that method we called a hexadecimal representation. Now in hexadecimal representation, it's a represent RGB combination. The R for red, then G for green and blue. Because we are aware about that is the main three color, that using of the that three color, they represent into the hexadecimal. Now the question is, what is the input of hexadecimal? Now the your input of hexadecimal, that is a 0 to 9, any number, as well as in alphabet A to F. That means that these are the 16 input. You can use it for the hexadecimal representations. But as a first year student, I suggest you directly go through the directly a color name. That is easy. Again, I repeat, we have a two method. One, you can directly write down that a color name, and second, that is a hexadecimal representation. So these are the three attribute: face, size, and color. So let's we go for that demo. Now you can see the out. I have used a font size is equal to 4, face equal to Fourier, and color equal to green. And whatever inside the font take, I have write down that you can see the output. It's represent into the green color. You can set a 3 attribute as per the your requirement. So let's we go for one by one. Like size. So as I said, smaller size, that is a 1. So now you can see that is a too small size. So as I said, the size 1, that is a small. There is a questions, sir, which is the size for the font can we use? Maximum 7. And Sreya question, hashtag 00 is a black or black? Yes, right, you are right. 60 that is represent black. That also we see the demo. So now you can see size 1, that is a too small. And as I said, maximum 7. Now that is a size 7, where you can see it's a maximum output. Let's it's one more student question, like if I use a 50, and let's we go for the output. Now you can see it's not any affected. If you write down a more than 7 any number, so it's a by default take your size 7. That is the maximum size. So that is both size. Now the face, where you can go for any font style, like we have about Times New Roman. That also you can use Verdana, then a common Arial, or we can say Calibri. So this all font you can use it as per your requirement also. Now the color, where we have a two method. One, directly you write down the color. Now second, like you can use a hexadecimal representation. Now you can see I use a FFFFF. So that is represent as a light blue color. Now, as I said, okay, that is a representation of a RGB color. For example, I have used all are 0. So that is represent as a black. Now, for example, if you set a red color, I have used, sorry, a green color. Middle two, I have set a FF, and remaining two, that is a 0. Now you can see it's affected a green. So that is the combination of first two red, middle two green, and then two blue. So let's we go for a blue. So that is you can see a blue. So that we called a hexadecimal representations, where your input 0 to 9, or we can say A to F. So that combinations you can apply it, and that is the font take. Now it is not a compulsory. You have to use all three parameter at a time. For example, if you just only require the color and if you not require any size, constraint or style, so you can only apply a color. You can see the all font are regular style, just only the color it will be a change. So that also you can use it. Same way to, like, if you just increase the size, that also you can set it. If not essential, all three parameter you have to directly add. So that we called a font where have a three attribute. Now we have one more attribute in a body part that we color, sorry, that we called a bg color. Now meaning of bg, that we call a background color. Maybe you can see some website they have to change a background color. So that is a attribute which is directly work with your body part, and that is a background color bg color, where we have like if I set a green. Now you can see background color which is set as a green. So that is property which only work with a background color. So now any query font tag. Okay, so now it not essential if you have a one laptop, and then you can do a practice of a HTML tag. Now if you have a smartphone, Android phone, and in this Android phone you have to just directly open any browser. Now in browser you have to just open google.com search page. Now in a Google search you have to just search a W3 school and then space HTML. Again I repeat, if you just go through your mobile, in a mobile you have to just open any browser. In browser just go through a Google search where you have to just search W3 school space HTML, and now you have to just click on the first link. So you have to redirect that website. Now you have to just scroll down a few, so you can see the one button, try it yourself. It's a visible, that button, try it yourself. Okay, thank you for your response. So now I have just click on that button. So now you can see I have redirect into the one another website. So that we called a editor. It means in your mobile also you can do the practice of HTML tag. So here whatever left hand side, so that is we have a notepad that we called here you can write down your all HTML tag. Then you have to click on run. So your output it's represent here a right hand side. That means in a mobile also you can do a practice of HTML tag, and that we called a editor, which provided online platform where you can do a practice. So let's we go for how it's a work. Now you can see I have used H1, H2 and paragraph. Now you have to just click on that run button. Now you can see the H2 heading it's added, that is H1, and that is a paragraph. So now you have to just simply write down your take, and your output just represent into the right hand side. Yes, you can also develop app name that is a solo learn. There is a right now in a market many more platform it's provided for making the based on directly GUI based. You can make your own website also. So let's now I advise to how to just go through whatever tech that we learn for that practice like B to I, bold, take, underline, and italic. Then I click on the run. Now you can see that is a heading tag. Sorry, that is a bold. Then that is a underline, and that is a italic also. Uh, Now am I audible, student? Yes. So now I just request to all students just go through that editor while parallelly I just take attendance, and then again we continue our remaining take. No one can need to write your number in a now my screen is visible. Just verify your name whether I write down the present or not. And if I write down the A absent, then you put your attendance in a chat box. Just verify your name whether I write down a present or absent, P or A. P for present, A for absent. Again, I repeat the absent student, that is Abhinav, roll number 1. Then roll number 6, Siddharth. Then roll number 10, Sufia Khan. Then roll number 16, Pathraj. And then roll number 27, Gulnam. These are the 5 student absent. Remaining all are present. Just verify your name. So now any query in attendance? Okay, good. So we continue. Now the next we have a tag that we called a link tag. So now in a link tag, you can link a specific web page. Like for example, if you open a home.html, contact us page, registration, login page, so that you have to provide it that link. And when you redirect one web page to another web page, so at that time also you can use a link tag. So that is start from the A for the anchor. Then we have a href. The meaning of href that we called a hypertext reference. And that reference page that we have to provide it, which web page you have to open. And now if a user click on the label, so it's a redirect to that website. Same way to if you make a Marwari University for the link, so we have to just provide it that domain https www.marwariuniversity.ac.in, then that label name. Same way to like if you make for the GTU, so you have to directly redirect https www.gtu.edu.in and then GTU label. So that type of link you can create it. So we go for that demo. Like href is equal to, I have already make a one page home.html. Now you can see that is a home button. It's visible. Now if I click on the home button, though it's a redirect to a home.html page. So now you can see I click on home, so it's a redirect to a home.html. Now here you can remember the one things, your main file and whatever file you have to open, that both file it's available in a same location. If your whatever file you have to open, it's not available in a same location, then you have to provide it your entire path, like C drive, then ABC folder and that particular file name. But I suggest you have to provide it a file location, both are the same. You can say it is a basic.txt my file, and that a file I have to open, that is a home.html. So now you can see both are available in a same folder. And if maybe my home.html, it's represent into the another folder, so then I have to provide that entire path here. Then and then it's file open. Same way to like if you create a more menu, so you can also create it like home, login, then contact us. So let's refresh. So now you can see the three button, it's already created: home, login, and contact us. In this, like if you have a login.html, so that web page name you have write down here. Like if you make a contact us page, so that you have to write down. So now user click on login, so that it's redirect to a login page also. So that we called a tag, where you have to redirect one web page to another web page. There is a one questions, how to link in a image. Yes, Pradeep, that is the next topic. So that is for the link tag, where you have to open one web page to another web page. Now the next and important interesting, that is how we insert the image in your web page. So let's we have a tag that we call img, then a space src, it means your source file address and your specific file name. That file you have to open it with that extension like jpg, png, whatever file supported by the image. So that is a tag img. Then src, that is like a source path for your file. Now once you upload the, or you can say insert the image, before it you have to download that image file. Now you can see here I have already download a few image file. Now here you can see like a GTU logo one, that file I have to insert in my web page. So first of all, I have to know that property, which extension. So extension, that is the PNG. And you can see the my file and image both are in the same locations. So I have directly write down that image name. Otherwise, you have to provide it that path. So take that is img space src now is equal to gtu logo one dot png. So let's refresh it. Now you can see gtu logo, it will be added in your web page. And for example, that image file, it's available on another folder. So you have to again provide it entire path of that file where it can be located. But I suggest your actual file and image should be located in a same location. So that is the image tag. Now you can see in image maybe how it's represent as a logo. So we have a two property that we call a width and height. So that we see in our next lab sessions. Now the tail of the tag, any query that we learn today's text formatting tag and font tag, link and simple image. There is one questions, sir, can we control the size of image? Yes, that we see in our next lab sessions. Width and height through, we have to control that image, as well as we can resize also that image. So now tail of the tag, any queries? Okay, so you can lab the meeting. We completed our workshop lab sessions. Thank you, student.